What is up, crypto hackers? Welcome back to another episode of Hack Crypto. We hack all of our crypto and finance education. If you guys are brand new here, be sure to be subscribed with that notification bell on for my next video. Now, on this episode, I'm going to be going over something that I have talked about dozens of times, but something big happened this year over at Fidelity. So the idea that you can buy Bitcoin and Ethereum has been on Fidelity for a long time. People could slowly go over there and buy little increments on their brokerage account, in their crypto enabled account on Fidelity, but something has changed. You can now send your Ethereum and your Bitcoin to your Fidelity brokerage account. That is the crypto custody account in your app. In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down for beginners, because I think it's really important to know that if you have a Fidelity account and you're trading, or you just have your 401k over there or an IRA, there is a lot of movement taking place in the regulation side of things that is talking about 401ks investing and being able to hold crypto. And this is really just the forefront of that. And Fidelity has done an incredible job. And I'm not here to just shill Fidelity all day, but ultimately they have been a front runner in this space for many years. And the idea now that you can send crypto from, call it a cold storage or a hot wallet, into your Fidelity crypto account is huge. At the time of recording this at the end of 2025, there are over 44 million people using Fidelity. I want to go through some pros and cons. I want to talk about this account. I want to talk about how they've structured education around this, because there is something I haven't seen anybody talk about on Fidelity's website that is an educational curriculum effectively for everything crypto in the app. So to clarify, this is ideal for beginners, people that are not going to be juggling around with a ledger or a Trezor or a cold storage wallet. This is people that already have a brokerage account and they can enable a crypto account on there. Now, this is a different subsidy of Fidelity. They are not protected by some of the traditional cash protections like FDIC. And similar to like how stocks aren't going to be protected by that, this is for existing Fidelity customers. So if you sign up today, you're going to have to enable that Fidelity crypto account. Back to the beginner piece, this isn't for advanced traders. Right now, they only have Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is not for people that are day trading. I want to go through the pros first here, so everybody kind of understands where we're at with the advantages here. So regulation and institutional trust. Fidelity is a household name. Everybody knows it, and it is a major firm. So it is regulated in the US. And this gives everybody sort of levels of comfort. This isn't like an FTX situation. It is way different than the Binances and the typical sort of crypto wild west. It's an institution that people trust and really have enjoyed for many years. Next up, we have it's an integrated experience. So for a lot of people that have been hodling for a long time and they have stocks and ETFs and things like that, retirement accounts, this is all under the same dashboard. So you can have one dashboard with all of your different stocks, all of your different positions, and then you have your Fidelity crypto account, and it can just be in one place, which simplifies a lot of people's lives. And I think that there is a really cool concept there for simplicity and commission-free trading. So there's a couple different pieces to this. I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty here, but ultimately they don't charge explicit crypto trading fees for the simplicity for beginners. So they're really trying to incentivize people to come in and use the platform. So the interface is super easy. You can see your positions just like a stock, just like your ETFs, just like everything that you can see there. You can buy and sell. There's no order books, it's limited complexity, and it's good for first timers, people that just want some exposure and direct exposure. It's not indirect through like an ETF. It is a direct purchase, which I think is super important to note here. And you can send direct actual crypto to the Fidelity account. So now on to the important piece that a lot of people out there are going to be asking about, which is the cold storage piece. So they have their own cold storage and custody. That is really quite intricate. I read through all of the fine print and everything before making this video, but the assets you buy that are held in custody by Fidelity, they are of course holding the private keys to those. So that is put separately. They do not do that rehypothecation piece that I have talked about many times on the channel before. They're not lending out the money, or they're not, an SBF where they're spending the money right when a customer sends it in. They are regulated, so they're not allowed to do that. They are very strict on having all of the reserves, all of the customer funds are there. Okay, next up, we have tax. Tax is one of those things that is death and taxes are always certain in this life. Tax reporting and retirement integration is huge. this is part of the Fidelity ecosystem. So the Fidelity crypto account is fully integrated in there under the same umbrella. So when you need tax forms, when you need retirement accounts linked, when you need to consolidate statements, that was a huge thing over the last 5 years, was just getting monthly statements. That was so hard. It was so hard to just get monthly statements for crypto holdings. And I think that this is really important to know, that the simplicity, rather than juggling around all the different pieces of software, this is huge, that they have this, of course, for taxes and for people to get a peace of mind and to simplify that. I don't think that's really talked about enough, of just how a simply monthly statement is huge, but really important to understand that that is a legitimacy piece that this space has needed for a decade. The last pro I want to talk about here is really important around the legislation and the recent retirement kind of movement taking place there on accounts. So the current administration basically passed a executive order on August 7th of 2025 that directs regulators to allow 401k and other defined contribution plans to offer alternative assets, including crypto, private equity, and real estate. A lot of people think that that was just always there when they're working with Fidelity and things like that. But it wasn't. So this is a big change, opening the door to all of the trillions that are in retirement. And I think that with the kind of idea around switching to more of a neutral stance with cryptocurrency and 401ks is super bullish for everybody watching this. And the underlying tone of this, in my opinion, is corporate sponsored plans. Now, if you don't know what that means, usually when you work a traditional W-2 9-to-5 job, you're going to get matching that takes place. So when you contribute some to your 401k, a company will match that amount or a percentage or however they structure it, where there's always kind of two individual entities, you and the company, putting money into a 401k account as long as you're employed by them. That could be a huge shift of exposure through the cryptocurrency market on Fidelity specifically, because a lot of people use Fidelity for these matching accounts. So you have not only individual funds, but you have corporate funds just matching, putting crypto into these 401k accounts at large, which is a huge kind of movement that happened in May of 2025 when the Department of Labor rescinded guidance on the kind of discouraging people to do that, or just discouraging both individuals and corporations of doing that. All right, now, of course, I got to talk about the cons here. That would not be fair to not talk about the other side of the coin. I need to mention a few of these things. So, of course, you have limited selection. This isn't for expert traders. You only have Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there's no altcoin trading or anything like that. So this is just two different assets on the Fidelity crypto account. So, of course, the next one is you don't hold your keys. Not your keys, not your coins. This is a traditional crypto saying, and it is true. There's always risks that things could happen on the institutional side, and you're not doing the self-custody thing. There's a lot of cases to be made around the importance of self-custody. I've always been a very firm believer in it, and I think that there's just so many issues that come from both sides of it, where you want peace of mind, but you also don't want the risk of institutions going down or something happening. But ultimately, that is just a con that you have to deal with. When we're comparing Fidelity to some of the other ecosystem pieces here, we got to think about staking. There is no staking like something like a Coinbase or Gemini has. There's no staking. There's no lending like some of these other platforms have. There's no DeFi access, decentralized finance. You could do that with the MetaMask or a Phantom wallet or anything you want. You could do that elsewhere. I think that this is more of a conversation and a video about retirement and funds that you want to custody somewhere for a long period of time. This is not a hot wallet that you're buying meme coins with. You know, even though there's guidance around a lot of this that I've been reading about, and the retirement plans, like the employers, the plan sponsors, stuff like that, everybody must follow the ERISA standards: prudence, diversification, understanding of investments. So the legal framework is evolving, but it is not in stone. It's not settled necessarily. So that is something important to mention. There are standards that the employers and everybody has to follow, because this is a highly regulated space that we're talking about here, following all of the rules and standards. So things take time. Okay, next up, I want to talk about the Covering Crypto platform, where they're doing live streams on Fidelity's actual platform with all these videos about crypto, trying to teach people And I think they're taking a page out of Coinbase's book a little bit here, but it is really, really cool and well done. I give Fidelity props for this, and their team that put this together has done an incredible job. I have not talked to them, and this is not a sponsored review or anything. This is just really, really cool to see a large, very, very legacy institution doing this. So I want to show and jump onto that. As mentioned, you can see here they have the Covering Crypto page. This is on Fidelity, guys. So when you scroll through here, you can see they have each of these videos. You can save them. They give you the time that it takes to watch it. And all of these videos are super educational. And I was digging into them, and they've done quite the production. So you can see here, they have the tutorials of how to open the account, how to fund it from your Fidelity account, and how to trade in it. This is just a real cool investment in the space. And I haven't seen a single person talking about this, which is crazy to think about, that they have all of these different streams, all of these different videos, and all of these different pieces of education that are going to be huge to help people and just better understand how this works, helping them feel comfortable with funding an account, sending crypto, and buying and selling crypto is just really, really cool. And love the idea that they're doing live streams to stay very much at the forefront, and just props to the team. This is just a really impressive overall educational platform. So that is it for my overview of the new Fidelity crypto custody aspect. This has been around for a little bit. Of course, I've covered it many times on the channel, but the idea of sending crypto and having physical crypto going on to a huge institution is a big deal. And for somebody like me who's been talking about this space for 10 plus years, I think that this is exciting because it opens the door to so many different types of retirement accounts and so many different types of individuals and companies and everything. And it's just a really fun thing to watch. If you guys want to check out more, all the links will be in the description below. You should check it out. It's safe, it's simple, it's regulated, it's limited, of course. But ultimately for beginners, if you're watching this and you've never heard of Fidelity Crypto, definitely check that out. You've probably heard of Fidelity. And retirement shifting is going to be huge. It is a tsunami of funds waiting, and they're looking for places to put their money. And this is going to be a big place for people to just quickly flick over some of their retirement into their Fidelity crypto account. And I think that the broad exposure that people are getting through ETFs, where they just kind of want exposure to it, but they don't really want to hold it, that is a whole nother group of people that I'm going to make a video about in the future. And that is it for this one. Be sure to like, subscribe, and check out all the links in the description below, and I will see you here in the next episode of Hack Crypto.